All right. Shalom. Shalom. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who does lead and rule well. Salutations to all you hopefully like Akim pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And sincere shalom also to you Akim and Akwaf listening and learning, preparing yourselves here in these last days, and to the entire household of faith, fighting this good fight of faith. I want to say shalom. This is your brother Quara from the DC camp. Come back at you with another lesson. And I'm going to title this one, Seek Not of the Lord Preeminence. And this is from a passage in the Apocrypha, as you can see on the screen. Sirach, the 7th chapter of Ecclesiasticus. And overall, it's just it's a lesson on the importance of humility and just caution against trying to seek, high positions or honor or high honor, because typically, you're going to get it if you're meant to get it. I was thinking of the story. What was it? It's in Matthew's, the 20th chapter. The mother of the sons of Zebedee, when she asked for her two sons, James and John, I believe. What let me see? Yeah, James and John. Yep. Yeah, she asked them if she asked the Lord if they could sit on the right hand, on his right hand, on the left hand, man. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and just grab that, and then I'll get into this lesson. Since I'm right here anyway. 20 and 20. It's preferment acts. It says, then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. And he said unto her, what wilt thou? She saith unto him, grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on the right hand, thy right hand, and the other on thy left, in thy kingdom. But Yahushua answered and said, ye know not what ye ask. Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They say unto him, we are able. And he saith unto them, ye shall drink indeed of the cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. So, the order, on earth and in the kingdom of heaven, when it's played out on earth, it's already predetermined, man. And it's of the Lord to give. So you let the Lord exalt you. Okay. And that leads me to the other story. Even when it's with good intentions. It was another story. I think it's Judas of Maccabees, his brother. He wanted to get a name. Salakia. He wanted to get a name for himself, and he seen the biggest elephant. He thought the king was riding on it, and he took him out. But the elephant crushed him, So he wanted to deliver his people and give up himself and get him a perpetual name, but that ultimately wasn't the case. So even if it's in good intent, it could be misplaced. And it can get you, hurt. It can harm you, man. So anyways, let me go ahead and get the main scripture, or the scripture that's on the screen. Sirach 7 and 4 says, seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither of the king the seat of honor. So even on earth, even amongst kings, even amongst, we got, one that's sitting in Moses' seat right now, or whatever it may be. You're not supposed to seek after that high role. Now that's different than just trying to be great in your position, great in your role, excelling in your position. Seeing if you do those things, then you'll be promoted. Especially if, if it's meant to be like that, you know. But even in the workforce, in the world like that, you may be recognized, you may not, but you put that into the Lord's hand, man. You know. Let me see something, because I had yeah, there we go. Yeah, seek now the Lord preeminence, neither the king in the seat of honor. All right, so that pursuit of high status and that recognition, it's advising against that, man. You know, but you should rather seek or focus on humility. You know, rather than that ambition for greatness, wanting to be great, wanting to be, because who you want to be seen of men or of the Lord mostly. You know, I wanted to get. I think I got it here. Hold on. Yeah. This word preeminence here in the Etymon online, it says surpassing eminence, superiority, distinction, precedence, a place of rank or distinction. Then it says transcend, excel, literally project forward, rise above, okay? To stand out. All right? You ain't supposed to you're supposed to just be doing things naturally. Let things happen. Let the Lord work. You know, you forcing the course of the river is you're gonna become abased. I'm gonna keep reading a little bit more on this chapter. I'm telling you, I'll only be yawning when I start the video. I don't understand. But it says, verse 5, justify not thyself before the Lord, and boast not of thy wisdom before the king. So, it's just warning against self-justification, pride. Even if you got like an ought, the scripture says you should pretty much take the lower. This is in the New Testament. You know, if you feel as though you're right, let the Lord justify you. If I can remember that scripture, I'm gonna post it in the description. But in the interest of time, I'm gonna keep going. You know, but just rely on the Most High and His humility. You know, rather than just boasting of your own wisdom, your abilities, man. You know, 6, it says, seek not to. This is Sirach 7. It says, seek not to be judged, being not able to take away iniquity, lest at any time thou fear the person of the mighty, and stumbling block in the way of uprightness. All right. So it's just a responsibility. This is just saying that's a responsibility that comes with authority and judgment, man. You know, and you shouldn't just seek it. You may not be equipped for it. You may be equipped for it, but you may not be equipped for it. So just being, in other words, like they say in the world, be careful what you ask for, man. Because in doing so, it could become a stumbling block into you, you know, and compromise one's integrity. All right, but this is the other point that I wanted to get. Verse 7, it says, offend not against the multitude of a city, and then thou shalt not cast thyself down among the people. And we've seen these examples, man. You know, nobody can tell you anything, so you say whatever you want. You doing whatever you want, but ultimately it could come back to bite you, man. You know, it could come back to haunt you in the end. Okay, so another thing that I looked up for preeminence, that word is superiority and excellence, which describes being above all others due to commendable qualities. You know, and then that you can't be thinking that you got all. You know, like if you didn't do what you did, nothing's going to get done. This is a body, man. The Most High is dealing with a body with many different people, you know, many different roles. You ain't doing everything. All right. It says precedence and priority. It indicates a higher rank or dignity holding the first position. Exaltation and honor. It signifies being elevated above all else and receiving the highest honor. And then it says the original Greek meaning, the Greek word proteo comes from protos, meaning first in time, place, order, or importance. And it's a word, I believe is in Colossians, the first chapter, where that same word is used for of the Lord, because he has that highest position. You know? This is Satan. Salakia. But this is some of the things, and I'm going to jump back to Matthew, because he said a couple of things. Let me see if there's one in 18 and then one in 23. All right, this says rank in the kingdom. This is Matthew 18. It says, at that time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. All right. So you got to humble yourself, you know, as that child. Oh, snap. So here it is. They was curious about who was going to be, you know, they was curious about the ring. It's only natural, you being a human being. And this is why these things in the scriptures is written for us. It's written for our learning, you know. And then Yahushua, he pretty much, he put that child in front of them and said that he shifted that focus from titles and ranks to more qualities of humility, and that's valued in the kingdom, you know. And what is a child embodies is that innocence. They're sponges. They're dependent. They got a willingness to learn, you know, and that's essential for spiritual growth, man. You know, but ultimately, again, the greatness comes through that humility, man. You know. Now, what was the other one? I believe it was in the 23rd chapter. Yeah, because this one is talking about them loving the uppermost rooms and feasts and the chief seats in the synagogues, which we've seen what happened to some of those people. But I'm going to just get straight to the point. This is Matthew 23, verse 11. It says, but he that is greatest among you shall be your servant, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Okay, so you see that? If you exalt yourself, then you're going to become abased. That's usually how it works, man. But if you humble yourself, then usually you're going to be exalted. Now, you know, I've been doing this, you know, this is not even a boast, but I've been doing it 10, almost 11 years. And the brethren that I met that actually are like the heads of their camp, or even some being heads of their regions, they didn't seek out, you know, again, and I'm not even mentioning any names, you know, because brothers know, but they never took out to be the head, you know. They never, it was given to them through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you know. And a lot of them very, very humble. You know, majority, and all brothers is humble, you know, but very humble, balanced spirits, man. You know, and that's what the Lord is. The Lord is looking for that, you know. And you see the camps grow, you know. What else? Let me see. It was one in Proverbs I was thinking of. But let me see what this one is. Yeah, this one says, be like Hamashiach. Philippians 2 and 3, it says, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each other esteem other better than themselves. Let each, Salah, I'm going to read that again. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Salakia. Now I'm going to get a Bible comparison. The CSB version says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility, consider others as more important than yourselves. Okay? See, the scriptures is teaching us these things. You know? Don't seek to try to impress others. You know? Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, that other scripture. One I just read, the previous one. James 4. And 6. It says, but he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, the Most High resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. All right. Damn, is this not the one in the Apocrypha that I want? All right, let me get this in Proverbs. It was another one in Proverbs I was thinking of, but I can't find it. Salakia. This is Proverbs 25:6. It says, put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men, for it is better that it be said unto thee, come up hither, than that thou shouldest be put lower in the presence of the prince whom thine eyes have not seen. All right. So in other words, you know, if you try to place yourself in that position, then you're going to be told, hey, you know, this ain't, you know, you ain't in the right place. You got to go down there, go over there, rather than, you know, you in that already down there, and they call you to come to that place, man. You know, they recognizing you rather than you trying to recognize yourself, and that could put a bad taste in someone's mouth, man. You know. What else? Let me go to the Apocrypha. This is Sirach 3. And I'm going to start at verse 17. It says, my son, go on with thy business in meekness. So shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself. And thou shalt find favor before the Lord. All right, so the greater you are, if you have those qualities, then guess what? You have to be more humble, and that's just required. You know, that's required because that's pretty much the qualities. That's pretty much the qualities that's necessary. You know, that the Lord is going to require. What is that? What did I just read? 3. Because I'm going to keep going. Oh, yeah, I think I found the other one. All right, but yeah, that's what I wanted right there. I think that, let me keep going. It says, verse 19, it says, many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. All right. So, you know, mystery, certain things is revealed unto the meek, man. So you have to be meek. All right. You have to be humble, man. So the more influence you gain, the more humility that the Most High is going to require of you, man. And the Most High, he honors the lowly, man, not those that's just seeking titles and names. Okay. I remember this scripture from years ago. This is Sirach 11 in verse 5. It says, many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of have worn the crown. Many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into other men's hands. It says, blame not before thou hast examined the truth, understand first, and then rebuke. All right. Is that what I wanted? Okay. This is not what I wanted, but this is a reference. What happened? Oh man, this is Satan. It's doing some shit that I don't need it to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just wanted to screenshot this for later. Okay. What else do I want to grab? I think that's pretty much the point that I wanted on there. I think I had a couple more in the Apocrypha. All right, this is Proverbs 22. Oh. Just trying to put it on my iPad again. This is Proverbs 22 and verse 4. It says, by humility and fear and the fear of the Lord. So like, by humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. Okay? So honor isn't something that you can just grasp. You know, it's something that's pretty much granted by the Most High, you know, of the Most High, you know, to the humble. Okay? So that word, humble, meek, it keeps coming up, man. You know? And that's the opposite of pride. You know, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before the fall, man. You know? Because that's what it is, man. When you're seeking that, it's just pride, because you just know that you're supposed to be in that position. You know? Let me see. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to get in this lesson. Let me go back to my original notes. I think I got everything that I wanted to get. I'll get one more. This is Wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter. And he which the Lord is over shall fear. Nah, that's not it. Yeah. I'ma just oh yeah, I'm gonna end it on that. You know, Lord's will, that was edifying. That's pretty much the point's been made. Lord's willing, like I said, it was edifying. Until the next lesson, I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. And I want to say, Shalom.